So we're live in 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, live.
All right. So the reason I'm putting this live, I'm using Nikkon ZR camera, which is actually shooting massive right now, and it's paired with the Viltrox 1.2, which is a crop sensor lens. So this is in a crop sensor mode. The camera is full frame, but the lens is not full frame. So I want to make this very clear. And why do I use this lens, even compromising a full frame camera to a crop sensor view? Because the lens performance I like it, and it's according to me it's very good. But it's a very low cost lens and 75 mm. So it's a bit tight, but the performance is good.
Crop mode.
No, Ara, hold on.
Okay, holding.
Stand by, I'll tell you when to speak. So if I ask you a specific question, then you can. Otherwise, please allow me to. Thank you. Now
Got it. Stand.
Now we're pairing this with Zoom F3. It's a 32-bit float system, and I'm powering it from my laptop through a USB-C.
Okay. Zoom F3 32-bit float. USB-C power. Clean.
Ara, I'll tell you when to speak. Until then, please stand by. So this is the mic that I'm using. This is LCT 040. Lewitt, if I say it right. I think I need to cover my eyes. So this is the mic, and this is the Zoom F3 device. So that mic is condenser mic, and it has
Okay.
oh my gosh, this
Okay. Standing by.
right. I have mute this grok. It's quite helpful when we work with this. Anyway, so the point I'm saying, the Zoom F3 has the interface function, which means you can pair this with the computer and then it will take over the entire sound system, which means you can hear and speak through this device or unit, which is good. So basically it won't use the laptop mic system, and also obviously only the sound. So when I use DaVinci Resolve, it's very helpful. If I put in that mode through USB-C connection, let me make it very clear. So a USB cable, a data cable, to be connected from the USB-C port of the laptop to the USB-C input on Zoom F3, if you prefer to use this. But that's not the whole point of the video. The video is just to check the performance of this lens and the camera, because when it's paired with the full frame camera. But again, the lens is now a full frame and it is in the crop mode. However, I find something very special about this lens. Whenever I shoot with it, the performance seems to be very good. Now I'm using 1.4, and let me blast through the settings. So the camera is set in ProRes 10-bit, I guess. ProRes 10-bit. It's not out 3D, but it can shoot out 3D. It has the codec. No software is updated in the camera. This is as such from the factory. Ever since I bought in previous November, so when it's released. This was pre-ordered from one of the shops in the place where I live, and yeah, that's about the camera settings. And I put some other things like the white balance. Perhaps it's a bit cold right now. Cold, I mean not the temperature. Well, of course it is a temperature, but the temperature, I mean the Kelvin temperature on the camera, not the outside air temperature. So that's roughly, I guess it is 3,900 somewhere there. I don't recall this actively, but it's not too warm or not too cold. It's neutral, and it has got a wide area. The red box, the Nikkon's the proprietary, however you say it. The field where it actually captures the eyes, and so I can see on the screen there is a small box playing around my eye, so it's in focus. And it's daytime here, it's very bright. I have put 1.4, and ISO is 800. It's 1/60th of frames per second, and the shutter speed is 1/60, and the frames less than 30. So basically it's 180 degree, 29 point something. If I recall, 29.92 or so. Anyway, so that is about camera settings. And the lenses, as I said, is Viltrox 75mm 1.4. It is set at 1.4. Correction, 1.2 in fact. The lens is 1.2, but the aperture is kept at 1.4, and it is in autofocus right now. So that's the camera setup. And I have a laptop sitting in front of me. The OBS Studio. Sorry, I'm a little bit fast. The OBS Studio is connected to the YouTube, and that's where that's the platform I'm viewing right now for streaming this. So I can see the frame, I can see the sound, everything good. Now comes the audio. So Zoom F3 is connected via USB data cable to the laptop, which is taking over the entire sound system of the laptop, because there is a function called Use It As Interface, and it's paired with an LCT mic, and I'm using adapters to connect directly to the XLR port, so it doesn't have the cable. Well, of course I have the cable. I hate cables here, so I bought two connectors, and that's what it is. So as in when I speak now, you can see how it's performing. What about its autofocus system? How fast it is. If you use native Nikkon lens, which I have here, 2.8 7200, the performance is way better than this because it's native. And by the way, there is an adapter being used, which is, one second, I think it is I forgot the name. Is EZ2021 Plus E2Z 2021 Plus version. It's a very thin adapter, so I had to fit that between the camera and the lens because this mount is actually Sony. So we have a lot going on here. The camera is Nikon and this lens is Sony, and there is an adapter which came yesterday. So I was so excited yesterday when I was using it, because after I sold my Sony the Sony camera that I sold recently is ZVE1. The problem with that is it's slightly smaller than Nikkon ZR, but way less in capacity. I was not happy at all with Sony's ZVE1. It's a full frame in fact, but the problem is it says 4K, and you see it could only show the max capacity of the card that we put in. The maximum we can get Sony tough card, tough version. If I remember correctly, it's 300 megabytes per second. No, 300 bytes per second. So that would mean no wait. Need Ara for this one. Hey Ara, can you tell me that Sony SD card, what is the max capacity?
Checking Sony SD card specs quick. Sony SD cards, like their Tough G or M series, follow the SDXC standard, so the max capacity is 2 terabytes. That's the official limit right now.
I mean to say the ZVE1's max recording capacity. For instance, what is the bit rate it can record at the max? 500 megabits?
Checking Sony ZVE1 bitrate specs. The Sony ZVE1's max recording bitrate is 600 megabits per second. That's an X.
Thank you. So 600 is the max it can go. 600 megabits. That is roughly 50 megabytes. The capital M and capital B. When you say 600 megabits, that is capital M and small b. So once again, capital M and small b, that is megabits, which is larger number. Capital M, capital B, that is byte, B-Y-T, is smaller number. In other words, megabits is smaller than megabytes. The conversion is like 1024 or so. So how much these cameras can record? ZR, it can record close to, let me ask. Alright, what is the max bitrate ZR can record? Nikkon ZR, the newly released version. Is a bit slow to
Checking Nikkon ZR's. Checking Nikkon ZR 2020 specs. The Nikkon ZR, released in 2025, no 2020 model, probably what you meant, has a max bitrate of 5,000 megabits per second. That's an Apple ProRes RAW, HQ at 6K resolution, 6048 by 3402. and 29.97 frames per second. For other modes, match R3D, EN.
Alright, can you tell me that in megabytes? $400 megabytes, is it? Roughly?
Roughly 5,000 megabits per max for RAW. That's the ballpark.
Well, that's a little bit too much. Anyway, we have this Angelbird card. Again, I need to refer internet for detailed specs of this one. But that one is way too much, way too big when it compares to ZV1 capacity. The more data has been recorded, the more the clarity, the more resolution, the more dynamic range, everything. This is a simple thing which people don't seem to realize. So that's the reason I'm saying it could be a business secret. Maybe I'm releasing one at this point. Apologies in case I am violating anything. I don't intentionally do this. I'm just doing this as a we can't say educational purpose, but just for information's sake. But please don't attack me on this. So for Red Komodo, I read in the specs it is 280 megabytes per second. That is roughly more than 3,000 megabits. Sigma FP, which was that small cute camera, although it doesn't have the autofocus, is terrible. I sold it. I had it, but then I had to sell it because it is not workable at all. And that's when I went back and bought this one. It is slightly bigger than Sigma FP, but it does the job. You can see I'm speaking, and then you can see my eyes in focus. That's what you care about. You don't care about this, here, or here, or whatever. Or perhaps you want it in blurred, or bokeh, whatever. So where we are. Red Komodo shoots the older version, not the new one, the $6,000 one. Now it is $5,000 everywhere. 280 megabytes, and these codecs, you know, that is patented. It's highly efficient codecs, industry standard. Now, when it comes to Sigma FP, that codec is not anywhere close to red. Obviously, red areolix are at the top, and then nothing comes close to that. Maybe Canon, yes, there could be. Sony, Nikon, they all have their own codecs. If my understanding is correct, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're not supposed to share these. They must have their own codecs, and it should be patented, I believe. However that is. So 280 megabytes on Red Komodo is quite a lot. That is roughly 3,000 and above megabits. Sigma shoots 300 megabytes. That is again more than what Red shoots in terms of data rate. Then even then, Sigma doesn't have enough of nice colors like Red does. It doesn't have that much of dynamic range either. The images, it's okay. Yeah, it's editable. Yeah, it's a romance camera, like someone said in YouTube earlier when I was viewing it. It is a romance camera, of course. You can bring a lot from that. You can bring back quite a lot of blown highlights. Yes, but it's still not up to the mark of Red Komodo anyway. Red Komodo is special. Then when Red was sold to Nikon, Nikon produces ZR, so that's when I bought the ZR. ZR, now I'm using ZR for this one, so you can see I don't have to say anything about ZR. You can see it live, stream. Of course, if you edit it, you can bring it back to whichever way you want. You can see the skin color. Obviously, I'm from India, so I'm from a Kerala, by the way. So you can see my skin color, and you can see all of the features. For instance, this a little bit dirty. What else you would like to see? This is some IKEA stand which I bought. See that color. I'm trying to see the reflection of my own. So I can't see it. Yes, there it is. So what I was trying to say here about ZV-E1 comparison. Then now it's a full frame camera. So I was pairing this lens with it, and it was very nice for vlogging work only. Beyond that, I don't recommend ZV-E1. Vlogging work, it's a very cute camera, full frame in your hand, and you can take it anywhere you want. If you pair that with the, let's say, the lens I have here is Zeiss 35mm F2, I guess. I bought an old lens. The same setup is being sold from the Sony itself for $5,000, but they have 60 megapixels. ZV-E1 would have only, let's say, 12 megapixels, but if you change that camera to a higher megapixel, and then if you pair that lens, which is 35mm f2, that's the same lens that they have fitted. But that camera which I'm talking about, $5,000, is a photographic camera. It's a very cute setup. Small, high resolution, 60 megapixels. But even then, even if you pay $5,000, what are you going to get? You're not going to get anything that you would otherwise get if you would compromise a little bit in terms of, let's say, you pick another camera and then you pair with the same lens and so on. So on the same note, the same context, I would like to bring one more thing which probably I would like to show you. Oh, camera itself. This cute little thing. This is Osmo handle. This Osmo handle, and I've got a what you say an adapter, and then a Panasonic lens. I changed the lens, Panasonic lens, and this is DJI's. It's already stocked. Zenmuse X5R. So it has got an adapter in order to fit that with the Zenmuse handle. Osmo handle. This one has got a proprietary disc, as you can see the disc. This is an SSD, same as that he put inside Redca model, same as what he put inside even Nikkon ZR. And its lenses, it's a little bit dusty, it's been gathering dust. Its lenses 17mm Lumix I put, but the one that it comes with it doesn't work because it has got a lot of CA, chromatic aberration, and I changed this lens. This lens is good. I like the performance of the small lens. It is 17mm 1.7, quite good, but it's macro four third, so obviously 17 is going to be 35mm in full frame equivalent. and that's what it is. So Osmo handle, then adapter, and X5R. This comes together with the entire system, together with the lens. So obviously I have to change the lens. That one is shooting 12-bit, same as Sigma F2, 12-bit, and you can bring back the highlights which is blown using this camera also. So that apart from all of this, I have one more camera which is which one is that? Yeah. Sorry about this, I need to take this slightly apart. I bought one camera which is very special either. That one is X52S. It should be somewhere inside the box and it's not easy for me to get it. So since we're already speaking some photography, I thought it would be nice that if I show that, but unfortunately I don't. I think it's inside the box, but I can show that lens at least since I've already got it. So this is the lens I'm talking about, the powerhouse. I can fit this one on this one also because it is a full frame lens. It's a small, tiny. It's tiny. If you fit, I purchased this to fit it with ZV1. So think about it if you remember the covers. See the thickness. It's a very, very tiny set. That is one good thing that I can share for the people. And obviously this is webcam model. And it's, if you would like to see it's card that I'm using. 500 gigabytes. Angel Bird. This is the same card, but this is CFast 2.0. The same card. I mean, I'm using the same company in ZR because of this performance is good. But obviously, nothing comes close to this camera out of all cameras I used. And this is the best that I have used. Its codec is good. It's 16-bit, in fact, 16-bit. 16-bit. And the lens that I pair with this is Canon I don't know if you can see it, but I should. F1.4 USML, however they say it. Actually, I went to take X5 XH2S. That one has got ProRes 422HQ, even up to 6K open gate or so. That performance is good, and I had paired it with the lens 50 1.0, but I did not like that lens at all, and I sold that lens for some reason. I had to sell that lens because I don't want to keep a lot of gadgets with me, which I don't use it at all. So now this lens I will not sell because its performance is totally outstanding, and that's the reason I'm using this for live view, so we can take as much as time to assess this while you are listening to these information that I've collected so far, whether it's useful to you or not. If at all it's useful, I'm happy. I'm not really asking to subscribe and all of that, but if you can do it, if you have reached this so far, and if you have spent this time with me, I would suggest there's nothing, if it's not binding to you, to simply click on the subscribe button. That will help me, but not forcing. Isn't this the better way that I can put it? Well, obviously I would like to, but usually don't force people. So if you are happy doing it, by all means, please, and I thank you. Alright then, thanks for spending time with me. I'll see you some other time. Maybe I'll post in a few more live videos with the same setup. I plan to do a few more, and I have this long cable I bought from Amazon, which is a USB-C to C tethering cable. $25 or something for the price. In case you want, just text me and then I will post that link there. Otherwise I won't, because usually I get very less comments. This cable I'm connecting to the USB-C port, of a laptop, and then we have to change some settings in the camera that it will draw the power through USB all the time. That's one setting, and the other one is USB-C / UAC or UEC settings, something like that. Yeah, that's what it is. So, hey Ara, what's the settings in Nikkon ZR to do the USB-C to C streaming? USB-C to C streaming. Looks like she doesn't have sound now. Alright then, thank you for watching, and have a good day or good night, whichever time zone you are in any part of the world. Feel free to talk to me in the comments, or whichever, meaning if at all I have posted my social media, there should be social media somewhere. I'll try to post that on this link as well. And thanks for coming. Talk to you soon.